Hey guys, what's up? Connect with Cubes here, and in this video, I am going to be doing a layer-by-layer tutorial on the Pyraminx. And the way, for those of you who have a Pyraminx, and you're brand new to Pyraminx, and you want to know how to solve Pyraminx, and you don't know how it works, and you want to know how to solve it, it is definitely easier than a 3x3. And basically, there are the exact same pieces on a Pyraminx that there are on a 3x3, but they're laid out differently. So instead of how there is one center on the 3x3, we're going to have one, two, three centers. We have three center pieces. And our edge pieces are going to be here, here, and here. Okay, so our center pieces are that piece, and that piece, and the edge pieces are that piece, and that piece. And instead of these little ones on the top that twist, instead of calling those corners, we're going to call those tips. And tips are just a not very important part of the Pyraminx. They just twist, and it requires you to do more stuff when you solve, and if you forget to solve the tips in a competition, you actually get 2 seconds added to your time. So, that's why tips are pretty useless, but very important at the same time. So now you know the center pieces, the edge pieces, and the tips. We can now go on to scrambling it. And if you are confused about any part of this video, I might or might not, I probably will, make some additional help videos in the future. Hopefully in the near future anyway. But anyways, yeah, enough talking, enough explaining, let's just get into scrambling. And basically the way your Pyraminx, the way the Pyraminx turns, it does not turn vertically, it actually turns diagonally. Like that, so you can turn that, and you can turn that in the back, and you can do this, so you can kind of just turn all kinds of just like layers and stuff. And also another kind of thing to note about the Pyraminx is that we don't usually solve Pyraminx by individual pieces. We do it like, layer by layer, because it's the layer by layer method. And I'll show you what I mean by that. And then once you get done scrambling your cube, so there's all kinds of red, yellow, blue, and green everywhere, we can go on to scrambling the tips. And you don't have to do all of them, but just in this case scenario, because it's a tutorial, I'm going to go over the hardest cases first. And then your Pyraminx should look something like this. A complete mess. Now, the first thing we want to look for when we're solving our Pyraminx, obviously we see lots of colors on it, and it really throws us off. It looks insane. There's like 8 million colors, but it's actually only 4. It's red, yellow, green, and blue. The first thing we want to look for is to see how many centers are already in place. We see that red has 2 centers in, green has 2 centers, yellow's only got 1 center, and blue's only got 1 center. So we have a choice. In this case scenario, we have a choice. We can do either red or we can do green. Now, in this case scenario, I would probably do green, because we have... I would do green, or where am I? We have those 2 green centers, and I would do green. And what I would do, because the missing green center is down there on the bottom, and the other two are right there. We can hold the other two right here, and we can turn the back up like that, so that green center comes up. And then we can turn this entire top face, turn that entire top face, so the two centers are out of the way. And then lift that back, lift the back up. Don't do anything yet, I'm just trying to figure this out. Okay, yeah. So once you do that, you've got your two green centers down there and your one green center up there. Then you can bring your bottom face back so they are in alignment with the two green centers. And then this next move that we can do, we can bring up that green center, and we can bring up that green center. And so now what we've done, we have just solved a green center. So now we are just about half done with our bottom layer. The next thing we need to move on to are the edges. And an example of an edge being in place looks like this. The two colors align. The green part of the edge is in the green centers, and the red part of the edge is in the red centers. And basically how we can find an edge, you just want to find any edge piece that has the color of your center. So the color center that you did, find an edge piece with that color on it. So like for example, I did green, so I'm going to find an edge with green on it. And I will start off with this green and yellow edge. And what I will do, we see we have this center down here on the bottom. We have that center on the bottom. We have that edge and that center. We can turn the edge towards the center so they can align like that. And then all we have to do is lift up this green face, put your edge piece in, and you can make sure they align because the two center colors should match, and then bring all of your green stuff back down. And now we see you've solved an edge on your Pyraminx. And because I have already gotten one done, you can do the same. Now, for example, this edge is easier where it is already in alignment. Yeah, it's already in alignment like that with the blue center, and it's on the right this time. Now what we can do, we can bring up the left to have that center and edge that's already put in correctly, move our top face towards the center, so we have this edge, center, and edge, so that way they are all matching. And then we can bring all of our green pieces back down to the green face. And now you have just solved your bottom layer. Now that is, I think that was actually the second hardest part. The rest won't be too terribly difficult. But now you can twist all your tips, so that way it completely finalizes your green face, so you've now solved the whole bottom layer. And then we have that tip on the top, you can fix that one. And then you'll be greeted with a few different cases on the top layer of your Pyraminx once you've gotten the bottom face done. And there's a case that you'll get where this color will align and this one won't. And it happens with both edges where that color aligns and that one doesn't. And it looks like this. Yeah, it looks like that. And you want to hold one of the aligned colors on your right. Hang on. Yeah, you want to hold one of the aligned colors on your right, and you want to bring down the left. Bring down the left, lift up the right, lift up the left, and lift up the right. And now we have taken our edge piece out, but we can very simply just move the edge piece away, lift up the right, put the edge back in, and bring it down. And that gave us a little bit more simpler case, which is another case that I'll go over. It's where we have like a parody type case, where that one is flipped, it's in the right place, but it's flipped, and that one's in the right place, but it's flipped. Well, we can do a set of moves called sledgehammer. And basically how sledgehammer works is we can bring down the right, bring down the left, lift up the right, and lift up the left. And then we have taken this edge piece out. Again, we've taken that edge piece out, so we can lift up the right, put that edge piece back in, bring down... Oh, no, don't do that. You can have your... Okay, so you got the edge piece there, and you want to align the colors. You want to align the yellow and the yellow. So your green piece, the green piece is over there, and you want to lift up the left, put the edge piece in, and bring it down. And now we have agreed with a third and final case, and what we have are the headlight case, as I like to call it, where you have all your centers aligned and your edges are misplaced. Well, what you want to do is you want to turn the top layer until your edges are aligned and your centers are misaligned. So you'll have a U-perm case, as I like to call it. And what you want to do is you can hold the top face anyway, hold it anyway like that, and you want to lift up the right, turn the top away to the right, bring down the right, turn the top to the right, lift up the right, turn the top to the right one more time, bring down the right, and then turn the top away to the right one more time. And you can see that you have now just solved your entire Pyraminx. And basically, there you might have some confusion with the last layer, but as of right now, this is all I have time for. And I went over 3 cases of the top layer. So if you're having any trouble, or if you're having a strange case that I did not go over, please let me know in the comments, and I'll make a video about it. But yeah, that's all I have time for now. I showed you the basics. I showed you how to do... We did our green face together. We did the bottom face. And then I showed you 3 cases on the top layer. And, yeah, by the way, you can start on any face on the Pyraminx. You can start on any face, and you always want to remember to build your centerpieces first. To build your centerpieces first, and then you want to align your edges and then place them in, which is pretty much how the bottom layer works. And then the tips are pretty unimportant, and you can just align them and fix the rest. But anyways, yeah, please like this video if it helped you, and if you like my videos, subscribe down there, and yeah, bye.